And welcome back to the UMG Gaming Studios for the UMG Champions Apex Legends Arena $10,000 Invitational. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Onset of Fallout once again, and we have now reached a point where we're on our last semifinals. We already know one team in grand finals. Naturally, that is going to be Ghost, but who will be joining them? Well, I guess it comes down to these two great teams, G2 and TL. Team Liquid Onset. It's going to be an incredible matchup with some polarizing figures, different compositions in terms of legends. I think all around it's going to be a great match.
It's going to be one of the best we've seen so far as talent is concerned. This is a star-studded lineup alongside, on both sides of things. You can see two of the standout players that we've had so far on a player matchup here. Nocturnal and Dezignful, both of them doing so much work for their team. But for me, Dezignful, I've just expected that from him recently. But to see Nocturnal putting up these kind of numbers, playing on Octane, it has been really refreshing to me. It's a reminder of how good every single member of Team Liquid is.
And I gotta agree with you. Hashtag Nocturnal Unleashed. Please get it trending. Tweet at Nocturnal on Twitter. Tweet at me at Fallout with 2 T's. Blow it up in the chat. Nocturnal Unleashed. This guy's about to go huge in the semifinal. I'm excited.
Have you been saying that? Because I remember I was saying that during one of our old events, and I kept getting made fun of by the studio team. Fallout with 2 T's. Make sure you follow them on Twitter. All right, but I'm glad that stuck, or at least it continued on. Well, yeah, I mean, Dezignful, Nocturnal. Obviously, you got to pay attention to the both of them, given the fact that they play similar roles in that of Octane. Super curious to see, though, again, how the Bangalore flanker is going to work out. It worked great in their first matchup against Aqualix, but will it work out in this series? It's going to be the 5 maps that we are rolling with. Fallout, we'll start with you. We got Overflow instead of Party Crasher, but Party Crasher not far behind is map 2.
Yep, that's right. Overflow, Party Crasher, Thermal Station, game 3, Phase Runner in game 4, and then Gardens will be our last game. Thermal Station is really interesting because last time we saw Team Liquid on Thermal Station, they played it different than any team I've seen play it. It's a lot more fast-paced, so expect some kind of in-your-face gameplay, especially with Bangalore. They're just having fun with this super high-mobility team composition. Bangalore, Pathfinder, Octane, that's as fast-paced as it gets. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, Nocturnal was in chat, right? And he was just saying, hey, look, to be honest, we're just having fun in this tournament. And you know what? Sometimes when you're having fun, you're playing at your best, right, Onset? So maybe Team Liquid kind of broke the code, if you will. They're not taking it too seriously. They're having fun with it, but they're having success while also having fun. So it's best of both worlds. Let's look at this head-to-head map record, Onset, and let's see what's telling. I mean, obviously for G2, not a lot of losses, but I guess even less losses over on the side of Team Liquid with only 2 for Gardens.
It's very true. One that jumps out to me is Thermal Station, which is a map that we will see in the series. So G2 don't have the best of records on that. However, Team Liquid, they haven't lost at all on that map. Gardens, you could say the same the other way around. G2 have the advantage over Team Liquid. However, I just feel at this point that maps don't really come into it. I just think it's who's going to be hitting the shots in those massive moments, in those battles. And for me, it's just going to be as simple as that. Like, what team is going to be hitting the best shots? What team is going to clutch up in those moments? They're both so crazy talented teams. If you were to ask me who's a better team fighting team out of Team Liquid in this lineup and G2, I'd struggle to answer it, but we're going to get that answer after this series.
Yeah, I mean, Fallout, Onset brings up a good point. We're still very new when it comes to Arena. This is the first ever official tournament for Arena in general. The maps are just what they are. They're the maps, but it's pretty much a blank slate at this point. I'm sure we'll see more strategies develop and more set teams on certain maps, but at least as of right now, it's all about kind of figuring out your flow and kind of how you want to go about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what I love most about this matchup in particular? It's the tell of 2 tales, right? We have an all-controller squad in G2. We have the complete opposite, stark contrast, all keyboard and mouse squad in Team Liquid. We're going to settle this debate of controller versus keyboard and mouse right here, right now.
We're never going to settle that debate, John.
Can we just say that this settles the debate and can that settle the
everyone?
Debate? Please,
as long it will never end. It's going to go on as long as time. I'm sorry, everyone in the chat.
Like that ended in chat. Now you just got them fired up again.
What is better, mouse and keyboard or controller? Let's keep the thing rolling forever.
Stop. We don't need this again. I was trying to corral all of them and try to be the best mod I could while hosting the event. I can't do both at the same time, and now you just lit a dumpster fire back up again. Wild stuff. Well, I guess let's keep the dumpster fire going. Onset, who are you going with in this prediction?
Sorry, let me compose myself. Prediction-wise, I'm going for G2 because they play controller. There you go. There's the dumpster fire lit again.
I set it up.
This guy just wants to burn the world. Set the world on fire and watch it burn. Onset, you're just a cynical Brit.
Cynical Brit, very well done. Hey, Fallout, who are you going with, man? Are you going Team Controller, Team Mouse and Keyboard? I guess at this point, it's not even really Team Liquid versus G2. It's Mouse versus Controller. Which one is it?
I'm Controller gang for days. G2 is a very strong squad. They started a little bit slow in a loss in pool play, but they bounce back and they've looked so incredibly strong. However, I can't go against the boys in Team Liquid, man. They're looking so sharp this tournament. They're playing free.
I don't know what
They're playing loose. Hashtag Nocturnal Unleashed. Get it trending, please, because Team Liquid's going to win this. I think it's going to be a nail biter, though. And honestly, this is the hardest prediction I've had to make this tournament. These two teams are so evenly matched. I agree with Onset. It's going to be the best match we've had so far, I think.
You know, Onset, I can really see why Fallout and Girl are such a good duo, because they both do the same thing. You think you know who they're going with, and they just switch it up. They can literally even type it in the talent prediction, and then all of a sudden they're going with a totally different opposite team. You can't create a narrative, it seems, because it's always changing. It's ridiculous. Chad, who are you going with, though? Let's see if you're consistent. TL. All right, fair enough. So, Onset, you by yourself,
bring
man.
It on.
10 toes down.
Bring it on. Doesn't matter.
Hey, bring
Controller
it on.
boys, I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with you till the end. I don't mind. I will fight this fight. I'm happy. G2 all the way, baby. G2.
All right. Well, fair enough. And aside from Controller, Mouse, and Keyboard, obviously, I guess both sides, whether it be you, Fallout, Chat, or of course Onset, you're going as well. Is Bangalore really the true X factor in the Legend composition? Right. Something to think about, because Team Liquid has had great success. We'll see if they take over the event. But I'm going to dip out. Onset, Fallout, you take it over.
Thank you very much. And I think we've done a fantastic job of taking away from everything that we should be talking about so far, John, and made this a debate about Mouse and Keyboard versus Controller. Obviously, we're joking. Both incredibly talented teams. Amazing to get this far to the semi-final, but it's single limb, so any one of them can make it through to the final. And as Nocturnal said, he's having fun in this. We're having fun on the desk as well. I just want to get into this series. I think it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. The whole broadcast has been great. I just want to point out, by the way, I am 100% aligned in every prediction I've had before I even saw the chat. With the chat, I'm a man of the people. Thank y'all for backing me the entire time. Even though we've been winning some, we've been losing some. Team Liquid is going to win this game. I'm glad you guys agree. But it's going to be a good game. You're right, Onset. There's a lot to talk about in this one. Obviously, Reflection set us up perfectly. Bangalore as a legend in this composition. Two different comps, two different play styles from these two teams. G2, who wants to get in your face. Team Liquid, obviously, again, keyboard and mouse, can play any play style, honestly. It's going to be an amazing, high-octane semifinal matchup. I'm excited.
I'm so mad that you're trying to get the chat on your side right now. You're such a chat sellout here, John. I'm not having it one bit.
What can I say?
I'm against you forever. Anyway, let's get into this.
Onset is the evil villain. This is true.
A lot of fun. This is very true. I am an evil villain.
It's like every thriller
lobby.
movie. The British guy's always the bad guy. Especially the bald British guys. Like literally,
every story needs a villain. Okay, and I'm happy to fill that role for now. But what a series this is going to be. We're into our first game here, John, and this is going to be one that we've seen both teams had success on so far. It's going to be Overflow. One thing that I think is going to be important here is going to be Bangalore. I think that she can deny some of those lines of sight that give G2 advantages here. But one thing interesting already, G2, they're going to have complete control of this side of the map. And it looks like on the other side, Team Liquid, they're going to flip things and they're going to have control of the center.
Just like I said, and kind of living it true here, to tell of two tales with these two teams in terms of play style. And now in round one, same thing. They both decided to play a little different. Looks like we're going to get the fully leveled up Mozambique coming through from Gentrifyinq. Clearly, he was either watching Team Liquid earlier, or he's feeling that Mozambique thing. We're going to get that from both teams, actually. Do we have all 6 players in this lobby right now fully leveling up their Mozambique to start?
I mean, one question might be, you got the Digi threat on it, and that might be something that might be interesting to take away as well, because of the fact that you do have those Bangalore smokes that are going to be going down and are going to obscure some of those lines of sight. But for now, it's going to be fun. Who's going to be popping a battery? Some meds are going to be shared out. It looks like initially at least, G2 doing the most damage in this exchange, and now we're having a little bit of a standoff between the two teams.
This is wild. We literally just have Mozambiques firing across the map. I feel like I'm watching a minigame in Mario Party, let alone an actual semifinal of the first Arenas tournament, Apex Legends. All Mozambiques on deck. What a start this is on set. And it's a good old-fashioned standoff.
Well, now you're seeing the smoking effect, right? That's where the Digis are going to be important. Team Liquid not giving any bodies here to G2 to land some shots. However, a little bit of damage going to be done there by Gentrifyinq, around 30-odd in total. And it's just a matter of milking down those meds at the moment here, John. Slow pace. This isn't quite what I expected, to be honest with you, but it's going to be G2 who have to make the move towards Liquid.
Yeah, and not only that, but keep in mind, because of the smokes from Bangalore, actually Bangalore making the big impact here early, I think they were able to get some additional weapons. Yes, you see the flatline on Nocturnal. They got the care package early. Nocturnal taking way too much damage here, and that's going to give G2 an opportunity. They need to take it quick, but guess what? Nocturnal's going to have a flatline waiting for them, and G2's going to neutralize an R99 in the hands of Gent. That's exactly what you want in the Slayer for this G2 squad, and he's going to push up here, going to get flanked, turns 180 on Fun, takes out the Mozambique, and makes it look easy. G2 with the start.
G2, the first time they got an advantage, they leapt upon it. They managed to do so well, not only to use the smokes to their advantage a little bit to get that R9 in hand, but using the damage that was initially done to close that gap while they knew they'd have a 2v3 situation. So great awareness there from G2. My pick to win this series, of course, just to highlight that once more.
That in there, huh?
And they managed to go up one in the series.
Here's what's interesting, though. That was Liquid's round to lose. And Nocturnal, in my eyes, big misplay right there. He got caught peeking and with his pants down a little bit, and that's what opened up the opportunity for G2. Yeah. But as you said, G2 had to push into Team Liquid. Team Liquid was the only team that had weapons from the care package. That round had Liquid written all over it, but instead, a bit of a throw in round one. G2's able to capitalize.
We're going to see something very similar here in round 2 as well. It's going to be G2 who are moving towards those bottom meds, and it's going to be Liquid who are moving on the other side of things. Instead of the Mozambique, the Wingman's going to be joining the weaponry lineup here for Gentrifyinq, and he's going to be tickling a Team Liquid member there with 45 damage to those shields. Not going to be able to quite hit the shots on the return battle, but going to get those crafting materials. I tell you what. That's no more satisfying noise than a headshot crack of shields, right? With a Wingman in your hands.
And all of Apex Legends. Completely agreed. 76 damage right there. He's not done yet. Going to connect for another 45. So G2 just cracking away at the shields of Team Liquid. And in addition to the fact that they're just having fun, TL, we asked earlier on, why aren't they running Gibraltar? And they said, well, Gibraltar just eats economy and obviously takes a lot of damage early on. So in this situation, haven't had to use as much of economy. That means they're going to have more economy available for more heals here for Team Liquid, which is good. That's why they're not running that Gibraltar team comp. Instead, it's going to be G2 who gets the care package this time. They get the Havoc in the hands of Gentrifyinq. He's playing on fire right now.
So still that standoff, very similar to what we saw in the first round here. The question for me is, can Team Liquid make a play here? And hey, great job from the observing team, seeing that Nocturnal is looking to make that play. Looks like Dezignful's going to be down to 1 HP. The shots are going to hit pretty hard here as well as he gets one player down to flesh. But now Nocturnal in a little bit of trouble as he gets soloed out. And G2, although they're on the back foot here, John, you have to say they've done a really good job of stabilizing for now. However, Liquid now moving in. They should be able to close this one out. They've managed to find 2. There's the third. And Liquid will tie things up.
We got ourselves a game. 1-1 apiece. Nice job by Team Liquid right there. Off the initial from Nocturnal, who was able to get, I think it was Gentrifyinq, I'm not sure who it was, down to no shields, no health. That opened up the door for Flanker and for Fun to push, play aggressive, finish those 2. It was all left to Gentrifyinq. And in the end, Team Liquid wins that one. We are tied at 1 apiece.
Great job from Team Liquid. Learning from the mistakes of the last round as well, I think, is something to highlight as well. Making sure that they, even when they had advantages, that they didn't overpeak, they didn't get too overzealous. And I love the play as well to try and get that cheeky little flank going on while G2 were focused on the fact that they had to make a move. And now you're going to see something very similar once again. G2 moving towards that bottom pill, very similar starting strategy. And it's going to be Liquid again who move towards the other side. So we're going to be back in a very similar pattern of play here in round number 3.
Yeah, no Mozambiques this time. Thank goodness. We're going to have another standoff. Both teams playing opposite sides of the map. Different play styles, different preferences. Again, I keep kind of saying it. Tell of Two Tales has been the theme of this story. 2 very different teams. 1 all controller, 1 all keyboard and mouse. Different play styles. And now different strategies on Overlook to start. And you can just tell how high the stakes are for this match right here on set based on how they're playing. Both teams playing so cautious to start, being so careful not to make any mistakes. This is just the semifinal. Gosh, what a tournament it's been.
Yeah, I mean, there's money on the line as well. It's just something to remember, there's 5 grand on the line if you manage to take home this tournament. So big incentive to all of a sudden get very serious very quickly here for Team Liquid. Even though they were having fun, there's nothing more fun than winning and coming in first place and taking home prize money alongside it. So for Team Liquid, you saw those shots they had to take there from the Wingman. And it's going to force them to use some meds, but again, it's almost a carbon copy of what we've seen in the first 2 rounds here, John.
Yeah, I want to point out, I think Flanker dropped a Bangalore smoke right there, but actually Gentrifyinq was able to capitalize and push up and grab an R99. That's the reality of the Bangalore smoke. It's a neutral ability. It helps the other team just as much as it helps you if you use it in a neutral kind of 50-yard line type of place like that. So instead of Flanker being able to capitalize and get some weapons, Gentrifyinq right now has the slight advantage in this round, is tipping slightly, just slightly in the favor of G2.
Liquid are trying to push up now, trying to get a bit more aggressive, and that's because the zone is going to be closing behind them a little. Chip away at the shields here from Flanker is going to do 35 damage, but it's not going to be enough to initiate a push here. And economy is going to be important for both these teams now. Who's got more meds in the back pocket and who's got an EVA 8 that they've just found from that care package as well? The answer is Flanker, and if it comes to a close range battle towards the end game, that could be the difference maker.
Yeah, well, and he actually had an EVA 8 before that, so that's kind of unfortunate that the EVA 8 is what came out of that care package, because he would have liked maybe something different. Obviously, EVA 8 and Wingman's a pretty solid combo, but perhaps something a little different for some diversity in their team, in their weapons. Maybe like a Havoc would have been nice in that scenario, but we have an R99 and a Wingman in the hands of Gentrifyinq. It's a great situation, but it looks like he's out of shields. So Gentrifyinq only 100 HP total to their name. And I said advantage G2. Right now, you got to think it's tipping right in the favor of Liquid, as they do have the HP and resource advantage.
They do indeed, and Liquid now hitting some nice shots with that Wingman. Flanker going to be forced into this battle. Unfortunately, they can't get the knock now, and it's still just a straight 3v3 on the map at the moment. No one can take advantage, and finally the zone's going to have to do the work for us here, as bringing these two teams together. And this has been probably the most standoff game of arenas we've had so far, John, between these two teams.
Absolutely, and especially on Overlook. This has been the most fast-paced map we've seen so far. But I really love this map. In arenas, so many sight lines, so many different strategies and ways to play. But look at the flank coming through from Nocturnal. He's connecting for nothing but headshots. Resultuh is going to get knocked. Nocturnal has to heal back up if he possibly can. That's one down, 3v2. Nocturnal instead going to join the fight. Tags Gentrifyinq from afar, and Nocturnal's going to get another knock alongside Fun, all up to Dezignful. You got to think it's looking a little bleak for him. 2v1, but look how low HP Team Liquid is. This is an opportunity for Dezignful. No, not going to happen. Team Liquid does it. They go up 2-1. What a round that was.
Yeah, super impressive from them. Liquid coming up clutch and managing to, it's actually out time G2 Esports. A lot of it was spent, exchanging shots, kind of peeking at each other, trying to do that damage. And then finally, when the push was initiated by the ring closing behind them, Team Liquid managed to take the advantage and managed to get that win on the board. So congratulations to Team Liquid. They will win that round. And now they're one round away from taking map number 1 here.
Yeah, but you got to think this is the longest round away from taking map number 1, just based on how evenly matched these two teams have been so far. This isn't a clean sweep by any means. G2's been playing well, easily neutralize this. Some games you feel like, okay, yeah, it's going to be a 3-1, no doubt. This round can honestly go either way, as Gentrifyinq pushing alongside Dezignful. They're going to get the early pill, which gives them all the loot that they need, and it's late game round, so everyone's going to be well looted here. The strategy last round for Team Liquid of just slowly burning the resources and the economy of G2 is not going to work here, because they're going to have more than enough shield. This one's going to come down to a pure 3v3, I think.
Might well do. Well, at the moment, it's going to be a similar pattern of play to what we've seen just a few moments ago. Ooh. Just standoff between the two teams. G2 on their favorite side of the map. Flanker going to be taking quite a lot of damage. It looks like that might have been down to a grenade, which might be the difference maker actually between these two teams. If someone can land a big grenade, that damage to really initiate a push for them. But it's going to be G2 now on the back foot. Dezignful trying to move around the map towards his teammates, and he's going to be able to do so for now.
Yeah, that's right. Gosh, Gentrifyinq, you could have breathed on him. Literally brushed him with a feather. He would have got knocked right there. So close to opening things up. Resultuh now going to take damage. That's big. That's the Gibraltar. That's who you want to take out first. Fun's going to push up. Team Liquid's going to capitalize, playing this perfect. Nocturnal's going to get knocked, but Fun looking to combine right after with a knock of his own. 2 versus 1 situation. Fun and Flanker making it easy and making it work. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, Team Liquid, game number 1, chat. I told you, stand by me, because guess what? The Team Liquid train is starting. We're hopping our way to a victory here. Congratulations to Fun with a little bit of an emote right there. Nice job. Well played. GG's for Team Liquid. They go up 1-0.
Impressive stuff from Team Liquid. I just love everything about Pathfinder. I just want to throw that out there right now. Whether it's emotes, whether it's storyline, whether it's lore, whether it's the way that he plays, he is a wonderful, wonderful character. And it's been great in arenas here in this competition, this tournament, to see Pathfinder really returning. And also, no Bloodhound. I'm going to throw that one out there again. It's been so refreshing not to see those scans coming in constantly and giving away positions of teams. But these are the replays, John. And I've got to say, the Team Liquid, I just think outstruck strategized G2 a lot of the time in this. They were so patient in the way they wanted to play things, and they weren't committing to anything that they didn't have to, and just really kind of fighting on the patience of G2, wanting to be aggressive and wanting to make some moves.
Yeah, out-strategized and then out-executed. You know, and the biggest reason I agree with the out-strategized piece is I think G2 allowed Team Liquid to play into their strengths. You know, Team Liquid, again, on mouse and keyboard, wants to extend the fight as far as they can, get in these poke battles. They're going to obviously have solid accuracy. Obviously, G2 hits their shots, that's for sure, but that's the way that Team Liquid's going to want to play. If you're G2, take a page out of Ghost Gaming's book. Get in their face, especially on a map like Overlook. They could have contested after losing 2 straight rounds, rather than continuing to flex your muscles and saying, let's stick to our guns. You got to change up the gameplay. You got to change up the style. You got to realize this is not working, because even the round that they won did not necessarily win in complete favor, complete control. I would have liked to see G2 actually change up their strategy and gone head-to-head instead.
And that's something that Liquid have done throughout the games that we've seen them so far on broadcast as well. They've been willing to adapt. They've been willing to change things up a little bit. And whether it's been weaponry, where they change the range of what they're using, you see a few snipers come into play, a few longbows, sentinels, whatever it might be. They've been really effective in adjusting their strategy to how the other team plays. For G2, I don't know if they're going to be able to do that so far. And I mean that with the greatest of respect, because they're so used to just motoring through teams and making things as aggressive as possible. I feel if they're going to have success, they have to try and implement that game style themselves. They can't allow Liquid to sit back. They need to try and close space. They need to try and be as aggressive as they can to bring the success that they have had in previous games.
Yeah, you know, I completely agree with that. This reminds me a little bit of G2 back when they were solo feed aim assist in early, I believe it was late autumn circuit, early summer circuit, when G2 went on a little bit of a slump, and it was almost like they lost their identity as a team. They weren't running that Bloodhound team composition. They were running a much different team comp that wasn't as an aggressive team comp. When they made the adjustment and started playing Bloodhound and started playing ultra aggressive on the edge of zone, they started dominating again at the end of autumn circuit, end of autumn circuit and then throughout winter circuit. I feel the same thing's kind of happening here at G2. They're not playing the play style, and I know it's arenas, it's obviously different, but they're not playing the play style that necessarily favors them with their individual skill and their strengths. KYP, know your personnel. Know that these are 3 of the best pound for pound shooters in the game. Get in the faces of your opponents and play aggressive is what I'd like to see out of G2 here.
We'll have to see if they can make it work somehow, or there's got to be a strategy somewhere along the way for them to close that gap. And I like what I'm seeing here from G2 already, trying to force the issue here onto Team Liquid. They've managed to get some damage done already, and Dezignful, this is a great example of it here, John. Dezignful hasn't even thought about popping a shield cell until he is over at the Liquid side of the map. He's getting aggressive. He wants to put a point down here. The Liquid are not going to take this home easily.
That's exactly right. This is what you wanted to see from G2, but Dezignful wisely going to back out of dodge there, tried pushing, tried finding an advantage, didn't necessarily get it, and was able to hit reset. That's the nice thing about Pathfinder. And boy, oh boy, I agree on that. The return of Pathfinder to competitive Apex Legends has been a treat for us to watch. It's been so much fun to see. And keep in mind on this map, though, Party Crasher, both teams are 2-0. So both teams undefeated. One's going to finally take their first loss here. We'll see who it's going to be.
G2 at the moment, just exchanging a few shots as almost order has been restored once more. A Mastiff going to be found here. And early game, I always talk about the importance of care packages. And by early game, I mean round 1, round 2, round 3, because you don't have the economy to upgrade weapons and really make a splash with things. You can still see Mozambique's being fully decked out on the side of G2. Well, you look at the loadout now for Nocturnal. He's got an R301 in his hands with a blue mag on it, and he's got a Mastiff in his hands as well. Fun's going to get the first knock here onto Dezignful when Liquid have all the advantage they could have asked for now.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, mostly Mozambique, some wingmans in the hands of G2. They're going to get the first knock, first kill on Dezignful. Here comes the push, here comes the kill with the Mastiff here. We're seeing a little bit of everything right now come out of the hands of Team Liquid, and it doesn't matter what they do, it is working. Team Liquid playing near perfect. Great gameplay so far from them, and they go on top 1-0, picking up right where they left off.
Yeah, again, the initial knock from Fun, huge, but then you go into 2v3 where you've got those 2 care package weapons and the Mastiff and the 301. You ain't going to lose that. It's as simple as that. And I think more teams will start to focus on that care package as we see things start to evolve a little bit here in arenas, especially in round 1, 2, and 3, like I mentioned. But for now, it's going to be Team Liquid who do have the advantage here in our first round, I should say, on our second map here, Party Crasher. And they need to kind of put the boot in for me. We know that G2 Esports can be a bit of an emotional team sometimes when things don't go their way. You let them get momentum on their side, however, and they are very difficult to stop. So Liquid need to take this advantage they've found themselves in and really try and hammer it home.
That's right. Looks like this round, both teams are going to go to opposite sides. So we'll see that same stalemate we saw last round. Liquid's going to be the one that decides to change up their play style and instead play on the waterfall side of the map. Meanwhile, G2 playing on the land side of the map as they're going to be working their way under bridge. But look at the aggression here. G2 looking to get aggressive, led by the tip of the spear here in Gentrifyinq. Let's see if he decides to play off of it or if they'll just engage in some long-range poke, which again, this play style in my eyes does favor Team Liquid at least just a little bit. But again, look at the differences that we're seeing in loadout here. 30-30 repeater. Last round, Nocturnal brought up the Mastiff, changing their loadout and their weapons significantly here with some loadouts we haven't really seen this tournament yet.
I mean, Peter is a friend of Nocturnal's, and he will be looking to do some damage here in the 30-30 capacity. And if he can hit some shots with that, he's going to be really chipping away at the economy of G2 Esports. And now he's going to try and reposition to see if he can get a cheeky little angle here onto Gentrifyinq or onto Dezignful. You can see the 2 times on it as well. It's going to allow him to get a little bit more range than maybe he would have before. 36 isn't going to be quite the damage he's looking for, but now he's a nuisance. And now G2 are going to turn their attentions to him, which is going to allow his 2 teammates to move up a little bit more unchallenged than they would have been if Nocturnal had not taken this wide angle.
Yeah, Nocturnal's yet to hit a shot with that 30-30. Obviously difficult to use. And nice job from Gentrifyinq flanking. He's going with the good old trusty wingman. Oh my gosh, hitting every shot. Just connected for 120. Flanker down to 70 or 60 HP. Gonna have to heal back up. This is G2's round if they decide to take it.
Gentrifyinq will get that first knock. G2 now will think about pushing. However, it looks like Nocturnal will manage to get into a position to actually get that res off, and G2 haven't been able to close that ground quite as quickly as they would have wanted to. Nocturnal going to be taking damage, and all of a sudden, the ground has been closed, and now Fun finds himself in a not very enjoyable situation. He manages to grapple up onto height, but his shields are going to be stripped, and even with that shot hitting and with that grenade being laid at his feet, you get the feeling that G2 will be able to close this one out.
Yeah, that was a wise grenade from Fun. A little cheeky, not going to work out, though. Good job from G2 for a second there. I had to hold my breath thinking, is G2 really not going to capitalize on this knock? But they were putting themselves in position. That's one thing we always say. If you get a knock, if you get a first blood or an opportunity, you don't have to necessarily go for the kill, but you have to get something as a result of that, whether it's map control, angles, or pushing for the kill. You got to take advantage. G2 did exactly that. Good job from Dezignful and Resultuh leading the way there.
So tied up now 1-1 in our second map. Team Liquid still with that map advantage, of course. And this has been a very interesting map that's kind of followed the pattern of what we've seen so far. First knock equals round win at this level for these kind of teams. That's the kind of margins you play with. You take one extra body shot that you weren't expecting, you're trying to get around a corner, and all of a sudden it's not just you going down, it's the round being thrown away. We did see the zip line coming in here from G2 as well to get a little bit of high ground quickly and try and get center map control. And G2 doing exactly that are going to be met by Liquid just across the way.
So every once in a while we gotta scare you with a little loading screen. You know, just gotta put the fear of the hearts in your eyes
every single time.
No, jokes aside, the server's been running great today. Everything's been pristine today. It's been so much fun to watch arenas here as Team Liquid pushing wide right, getting so much damage on. Great arc stars gonna be placed by Nocturnal. That's gonna open things up and push G2 back, and that's gonna be the Ava 8 cleaning up for Nocturnal. Hashtag Nocturnal Unleashed right here, right now. He's feeling himself, getting loose, and Team Liquid wins the 3v3 skirmish.
Yeah, the aggression from Team Liquid. They saw the bubble go down. They put the arc star to the back of it, giving G2 no escape without running into them or taking damage. That was exactly what would happen, exactly what did happen. And Team Liquid had a very simple job of just cleaning things up after that. That was almost like watching G2. That's what G2 do. And Liquid just did that to G2. So congratulations to Liquid for really, foot down, gas completely depressed there, and just making sure that G2 had no room whatsoever to shift away from the aggression they were trying to throw their way.
Yeah, because you're right. That's the fight that I was kind of saying going into the game that I want G2 to take. And even at G2's game, wanting to take those close range fights, Team Liquid still having their way. Well, guess what? We'll see it again. Both teams playing on the screen side of the map, pushing. Wide right is Gentrifyinq, Dezignful, and Resultuh. And smokes are everywhere right now as Team Liquid is using the element of surprise to push through, and some of the Bangalore utility coming into fruition.
Yeah, I cannot see is what every single player is saying right now. And maybe one player who can see is going to be Nocturnal because he has that Digi on his Vault. So the Octane going to be beaming right now, and that's a crack at the shields as well. However, Fun's going to be taken down. Can they get the exchange, though? Can they manage to exchange the kills? It doesn't look like they will be able to. And G2 now, after that initial knock, will clean things up, and that was clean from G2. The initial knock was absolutely huge, and that was someone taking a risk again, getting a little bit out of position, seeing an opportunity to push and taking it.
Love to see it. Nice job right there from G2, tying it at 2 apiece. trying to tie the maps at 1-1 and make this one hell of a series, just like we saw in our other semifinal onset. You might have 2 series that go the distance. I don't know if you're still going to have the stamina to make it through, but something tells me this gameplay is going to keep you all types of excited.
I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
You cast battle royales, I guess. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I've been casting EU and NA ALGS. I do not know what sleep is. I never get tired. Everything is absolutely fine until I collapse later on. But that's later on. Let's talk about what's in front of us right now, because that's a 2-2 game, and neither team able to get a real advantage at the moment. And now we're going to actually be moving over to the other side of the map. You see the zone's kind of pulled towards this side. So the crash landing, the Mirage Voyage is going to be where the battles are going to be taking place, and a nice smoke there from Flanker just to once again just close off that line of sight, allowing his teammate Fun to pick up the meds.
Yeah, that's right. So advantage right now in favor of Team Liquid in terms of meds and resources, but Nocturnal's going to be tagged. This could be an opportunity for G2 to push. Nope, they don't like it. They're going to reset, continue to play this slow. And now, if I'm Team Liquid, the way that I want to play this, I don't want to force a fight. I don't want to go all in. 0 to 100. I want to poke away and slowly win the long game against Team Liquid based on the fact that you are controlling the resource economy right now.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. That care package is going to be coming down as well, and I wonder if that's going to have an impact. There's a beautiful little arc star, and look at this. Dezignful knew he got damage done and tried to use the grapple to get onto that kill and turn the damage into a knock. Unfortunately for him, wasn't able to do so. Some good crossfire coming in from the rest of Team Liquid. Just made sure they had to back up for just a second, and now we have a full reset across the map. Every single player pretty much full HP, and everyone in their original positions.
Yeah. And that's for now. Keep in mind, again, this is exactly how Team Liquid wants this round to play out. Take as much time as possible, force G2 back, and just continue to slow burn the round. Skynade's going to come through from Resultuh. Dezignful's going to get 0 to 100 real quick. It's knocked. Gentrifyinq and Resultuh. Last 2 nice shots coming through from Resultuh, leaving him in 1 versus 2. Needs to connect for shots ASAP. Not going to get the damage done that he needed, but Nocturnal is weak. He can push this and get the knock on Nocturnal. He's going to do that. He takes out 1. Can he go for the second? 1 versus 1, I believe overall. No, he did not get the knock. I thought he did. I thought he did enough damage. Instead, he did get taken out. I got a little too excited right there, thinking it was a 1v1, but it was a 1v2 the whole time. Team Liquid, calm, cool, and collected, closing it out. Now 1 round away from making this match point.
He was so close to being a 1v1, though. The only thing that traveled a little bit slower than the Team Liquid player's shoulder from behind that speaker was the EVA 8 bullets. And I think if it was any quicker, then that would have been. The battery got popped and just about managed to keep him in the game. And a 1v1, very different situation, both psychologically for Team Liquid and for G2. But it is Team Liquid who do keep their cool, like you say, keep it calm and manage to pick up that round win and now have the opportunity to find map point here. And let's just remind ourselves, they're not just on map point, they're also 1 up in the series. So this would be 2-0 in the series to Team Liquid, and this would be a real statement from them.
Yeah, that's right. Look at G2. They know that Nocturnal's going to go for the pill, so instead they're going to full send all 3 members flying and dominating right now. Great strat call from G2. I love it. Octane pad straight over, and now it's just clean up on aisle 5 as they are taking out every single member of Team Liquid. Ladies and gentlemen, we are tied at 3 apiece. G2 makes this a round 7 and continues.
Brilliant. Brilliant from G2. What else do you want me to say about it? Recognizing the situation, recognizing the patterns of play that Liquid have tried to lay down and deciding, hey, we have a 3v2 advantage with this jump pad. Let's take it. Let's hone in on our advantages. Let's get that first knock. Let's make it 2. And then if we lose a 1v3, well, we deserve to be eliminated from the tournament. It's as simple as that. But G2, again, big brain from them. Realizing the situation, realizing what Liquid are doing, and adapting to it.
Yeah, brilliant. And that's one thing I do love about arenas is the diversity and the ability to make adaptations on the fly. Strat calls, the fact that you can pull 3, 4, 5 strats out of the strat book or trick book, catch a team off guard, and that's exactly what we saw at a G2 right there. Same thing we saw from Aqualix on day 1 that worked very, very well. G2 does the same exact thing, but this time they're fighting on the screen side of the map. It's going to be a much different type of fight.
Yeah, Fun hitting some really nice shots there to drop those shields, and it's going to force Resultuh to back up and have to use an early battery. Fun now taking the height as the Pathfinder as well, and G2 tried to get aggressive initially after managing to do a little bit of damage themselves, but now being forced to back up. Nocturnal's going to be on the receiving end of a couple of wingman shots, and the flat line of Fun is still going to be causing some problems, but not causing any damage to the G2 members. However, that combination onto Gentrifyinq certainly is, as Nocturnal will get the first knock here and the finish. That'll be a 2-3 advantage here in the hands of Team Liquid.
That's right. So now Dezignful's going to have to go huge. Look at his positioning now. I love this spot from Dezignful. This is where we saw Panders do absolute work for ESA Black, now known as Ghost Gaming. Here's a good start. Getting some good shots in. It's not going to be enough. We're going to need Resultuh to follow through if he can. Looks like he's deciding not to. They're just going to play slow, play on their back foot, and hope to take their 2v1 if they can get one here, as Liquid's going to be forced to push.
And this is the beauty of Pathfinder again. They thought he dropped. Now he's managed to take reposition, and all of this work here from Dezignful is keeping Resultuh alive to pop a battery. It's as crazy as it sounds. It comes down to that kind of things. However, Dezignful finally going to be eliminated by the EVA 8 hero flanker. Now Fun just trying to pin the last player into position. A couple of windmills to just point out where he's going to be going, and that will be Team Liquid now with the advantage here, John, and a 2-0 series lead. Team Liquid have looked amazing.
That's right. This is the second time Team Liquid's been on game point. Last time G2 was able to keep their hopes alive for this map. We'll see what they can pull out of the bag this round. Backs against the wall. Game point for an opportunity for Team Liquid to go up 2-0 in maps. Will they close it out here, or will G2 force our first round 9, I believe, of Championship Sunday? I don't think we've seen a game go the distance yet. Gosh, it's been so much fun to watch these arenas games, especially the ones like this that go into the round 7s, 8s, and 9s. Here comes the strat from Liquid. Dezignful and G2 going to be slightly behind. It looks like Team Liquid's going to get there first.
And they're going to be joining them now. Well, there's a grenade at the feet of Nocturnal here. Has to be very careful to avoid the damage from that frag grenade. Manages to do so, and Arcstar going to be thrown in exchange. The bubble will be going down, so the grenades aren't going to be doing any damage on either side for now, but that bubble might give Team Liquid the opportunity to push forward and take a little bit of ground. Nocturnal takes a little bit of damage himself, but look at this angle he managed to get on the cross there. Even though that's only 30 odd damage or so, it all of a sudden, it makes G2 think, what is going on? Where are those shots coming from? And look at this from Nocturnal, getting aggressive, but it's going to be G2 who somehow managed to turn this one around. Gentrifyinq and Dezignful hold off the push from Liquid.
Unbelievable plays right there by G2 to hold the push, to stay alive, to hold the fort, and now it's up to Fun. 1v2, he pushes up, gonna get 2v1, get some damage in, but it's not enough. G2's gonna do it. We're going to a round number 9 after what I thought was the play of the tournament so far from Nocturnal. G2's able to withstand and forces this one to go the distance.
Yeah, round 9. This is what we love about arenas. We'll take a look at the replay of that last round as well. And, you know, Nocturnal did so much, but this is the point of view here of Gentrifyinq. And look at these shots with the EVA 8. Manages to switch over to the R9 as well to get the finish. And this is the point of view of Fun, trying to do what he could right at the end on the Pathfinder. But G2 holding off here, John. The push from Team Liquid after the damage was done, managing to turn that into a round win for them. And now it's for all the marbles. Round 9, baby.
That's right. Fully leveled up Evo shields here. All comes down to this final round, and they'll be playing on screen side again. All eyes on Nocturnal. How will he play this? With the same confidence he played last round. It's a good nade. Good first damage and poke. Off the rip, Resultuh down to no shields, but he'll be able to reset. Here comes the push. Nocturnal, same confidence, same energy. He pushes up, knocks one, putting his team on the back right now, but he's going to get knocked right after. All up to Fun. Fun's last alive. G2 left in a 1v1. It all comes down to a 1v. Fun's getting good damage in, but not able to connect just yet. He's going to have the back on the reset, and G2 is going to do it. G2 on top in map number 2.
Wow, I thought for a second there Fun had managed to get away. I thought he managed to slide down that stair, but there must have just been a hair on the Pathfinder's head still sticking up that managed to get clipped, and that will give G2 the round 9 win here on our map number 2. And I mean, what a performance. What else can you say? It felt like G2 were on the back foot, not just once, but twice in those final 2 rounds, and managed to keep it together, John. Amazing stuff from them.
Absolutely. And I love the confidence from Nocturnal. Despite losing that last round, he's like, that was a fluke. And I thought, again, Team Liquid had control. But again, those are the fights that play into the advantage of G2. I'm not sure if I agree with that aggression from Team Liquid, because in the end, controller players in those close range fights, G2's so good in those scenarios. They ended up on top. They clutched up when it mattered the most. Great job to G2 right there. We're tied at one apiece.
Well, when it's all said and done, it's still tied up. That's the thing. The series is tied up, and it means we're going to a game 3. But before we get there, it's time for us to just catch our breath and take a quick break. But when we get back, who's going to take the advantage? Will it be G2 or Liquid? Stay tuned to find out.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the UMG Champions Apex Legends Arena $10,000 Invitational. Taylor Reflections Noble joined by Onset and Fallout. And what an incredible map number 2 between G2 and Team Liquid. Obviously, we knew this series was not going to disappoint, and Onset, it for sure hasn't.
Oh, it definitely hasn't. It's been absolutely ridiculous. That last couple of rounds from G2 was nothing short of heroic from them. Liquid seemed to have the advantage in both of them, and somehow G2, was staring down the barrel and managed to turn it around into not only surviving, but into a map win for them. So now we're tied up at 1-1 in the series. And to be honest with you, I don't know how that's going to affect Liquid, because I feel like that was a huge momentum boost for G2. But Liquid, knowing they felt like they had advantages, didn't put it home. And now they're on the back foot. And what could have been 2-0 is now 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, Fallout, obviously, Onset's talking about a lot of heroics from G2, finding themselves on the back foot, constantly having to win a round just to stay alive, ultimately winning in round 9 and taking a victory, tying the series 1-1. But Onset mentioned a lot of heroics from G2. What are some examples of those heroics?
Yeah, so G2 thrives, and they're so good, arguably one of the best teams in the game at pound-for-pound 3v3 team fights. Their chemistry, they've been one of the longest-lasting teams. They shoot for each other. Their team firing, it's insane. I mean, they come from Call of Duty. They come from a variety of other console games. So the fact that they get in those 3v3s, this is the exact play style that they want. So that's what the difference maker was. They were all focusing the same players there, where it felt like Team Liquid was a little bit off base. Nocturnal was taking kind of a 1v1, 1v2 and doing work. It felt like Team Liquid had the advantage, but I'm not sure where Flanker and where Fun were on the flank to be able to support Nocturnal with those heroics.
Yeah, Nocturnal, 8 eliminations. That's a great stat line. In fact, he was the leader in terms of eliminations, not only on his team, but also if you were to compare him in terms of G2. But across the board, though, you raised a great question. Flank or Fun, where were they at? Only 2 eliminations. Now, granted, they're putting in that DPS. Yep. Really impressive DPS from Fun, 2,600 in total. Nothing to sneeze at by any means. But again, though, if you look at the stats from G2 across the board, I'm looking at a 5, a 6, a 2. So I think as a whole, they were putting in more work collectively as a team, and teamwork makes the dream work. And in this case, the dream paid off for G2. Very well done. They tie it up. We're heading into Thermal Station now. It's going to be a fun one, and I can't wait to see how it's going to turn out, especially if Nocturnal goes back to what he was doing in Overflow. Getting on those flanks, it was pretty exciting. We don't see that too often, so you got to keep your head on a swivel. Watch out for Nocturnal. But Onset Fallout's going to be a great map 3. Take it away.
And what a map 3, what a location to find ourselves in, John. The home of G2. It's what they know best. And to be honest with you, I feel like we're going to have a really aggressive game 3 here between these two teams. We saw a little bit of standoffishness in that first game. Then it started to ramp up a little bit in game number 2. But now I feel like both teams are going to be so focused on control of either the dome or that platform side, depending on where the ring goes, that we could see some seriously massive headbutts going down.
Absolutely. And the thing I love most about G2 in game 2 was going into the game, I said, look, your strength are pound for pound 3v3 in your face team fights. Take those fights. And it was actually Liquid that gave them the fights. But I want to see G2 continue that. They actually lost this map. They didn't defend their home turf. And when we say that, obviously, G2 drops at Thermal Station in BR and on World's Edge. They didn't defend their home turf against Renegades because they were playing a lot more passive. They're playing around the outskirts of the map. They were getting in long range, long distance fights. So I want to see G2 actually contest for the center room, mid map, bottom mid, play for against Fun, who likes to play aggressive there and take those fights.
Well, it looks like we might have a little bit of a reset here, but we'll try and get back into lobby as soon as we can. As if the anticipation wasn't building enough for this game 3. Well, good news. We're not actually having a little reset. We're getting straight into the game. We're not messing about here, John. I lied to everyone at home. I'm sorry. I apologize. Please forgive me. I can only repay you with some of the best gameplay that you're going to see in arenas right now as G2 take on Team Liquid. It's 1-1 in the series, John, and already you can see that it looks like, from my eyes, that Liquid have managed to get control of the roof of the dome already.
Yeah, that's right. Liquid playing back, and I like the way the Liquid's playing this. This is exactly the play style that's going to give Liquid the advantage. Long range poke, long range fights. That's where keyboard and mouse has the advantage over controller players, and I think that's where Team Liquid's really going to have the advantage overall. Dezignful is going to get some additional loot here, puts his team in a pretty good spot. This is going to slow down here a little bit. We talked about earlier, but Thermal Station in arenas is a bit stale, a bit slower, a much different, more tactical style of play than we've seen on other maps. So as a result, that's what we're going to see here in round 1.
Yeah, the map split down the middle at the moment. GT holding their line, and on the other side of things, Liquid did a little bit more of an interesting split. You can see that Fun and Nocturnal were working together, with Flanker kind of playing scout up on this high ground, trying to hold things down, trying to get a little bit of damage and allowing his two teammates to maybe try and move up. But one thing I'm noticing as well is, especially in the early rounds, is a lot of Mozambique to long range, even though it's hitting for 8, 9, 10, 11 damage, it's going to force the economy to be used from the other team. So although it's, you know, you might be thinking, why is he using a Mozambique from there? You're never going to get a knock. It's about creating opportunities later on and whittling down those resources, whittling down those cells to make the fight later on so much simpler for you.
Well said. Meanwhile, wingman in the hands of Dezignful. So we've seen in his hands throughout. And honestly, all three of the G2 players, with Dezignful, Gentrifyinq in particular, two of the best wingman controller players in the game, the shots that they hit. But as I say that, Nocturnal says, hey, yeah, but I can do the same thing on keyboard and mouse. Connects for 2 shots in a row, long range. But I think that was interesting about that last game, as things are still a little slow here. Team Liquid was on game point twice, up 3-2. And then up 4-3, and both times were not able to close out. G2 clutching up in those clutch moments. That was so impressive.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff. I mean, Team Liquid might be kicking themselves a little bit. I said it sounds a lot different saying you're 2-0 up in a series to being tied up at 1-1. You're only one map away from taking things home and sending G2 packing, and now you're on an even playing field, as Flanker and Nocturnal now aren't going to have any meds to work with by the looks of things, and G2 have been exchanging damage pretty well so far by the looks of things, and this isn't looking too good for Team Liquid right now, as they're going to have to make their way towards where G2 are currently situated.
Yeah, and that's right. And the reason for that this round is, well, G2 got the pill early and they got the resources as a result. Fun's going to pick up a Havoc, though. That can turn things around. Fun needs to go huge. He's going to connect for only about 40 damage. It's not enough. And goes for a melee. Nothing going here for Team Liquid. They get out-resourced and outlasted by G2, who got the supply crate earlier, got all the meds that they need, and just slowly burned the opponents. Nice shot from G2. It's exactly how you want to play that round.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think also the positioning there of G2 was superior. The zone pulled towards them, which forced Liquid to make that move. And when you're surrounded by a moat full of lava, it makes everything a little bit more difficult for you. So great work there from G2 to get the advantage now in the series, showing that the brains are there as well as the brawn in those team fights. And even though Fun managed to get the Havoc in his hand from the care package, unfortunately just didn't have any heals to work with, didn't really have anything to work with, and just tried to output as much damage as he could before he went down. And as I say, G2, they had the position, they worked it well, they managed to get the most poke damage, and Team Liquid, unfortunately, couldn't match them for it.
Yep, and they start strong, defending their home turf on round number 1, Thermal Station. They drop an ALGS and on World's Edge. They know a thing or two about early fights here. Look at the early knock. I didn't even see that. Nocturnal going to get knocked early by Gentrifyinq. Not sure what happened there. Nocturnal gets caught in a bad spot in a no man's land, and as a result, 3v2 here. G2 is building all types of momentum on set.
I love what G2 are doing as well. Even though they got that early knock, they've managed to try and be aggressive and turn the 2v3 scenario in their favor. However, Team Liquid were aware to it. They managed to get the knock onto Dezignful, thanks to the wingman of Flanker. And now Fun is also going to be getting a knock as well. So Gentrifyinq and Resultuh, I should say, excuse me, Fun isn't going to get the knock. He's going to get the finish, which makes this a 2v2 scenario. And EVA rates are going to be the name of the game right now, as both teams are staring each other through a broken door. One kick here could change things. Damage can be done here. Who's going to win this EVA rate fight, John?
Oh my gosh, great shot so far from Flanker. He's going to connect for the final shot. Look at the patience from Flanker to hold his last shot, to wait for G2 to strafe right into it. Team Liquid with a steal of a round despite losing Nocturnal early. Fun and Flanker, F squared, the new duo. Welcome to competitive Apex and being teammates here. You have been a treat to watch, and that right there was a clutch 2v3.
It really was, and I love the idea from G2 initially to try and isolate a player to create a 3v1 instead of just the 3v2. Unfortunately, just overcommitted to it. Didn't recognize the fact that there was angles being taken by Team Liquid, and as soon as it turns into a 2v2, all of a sudden the first thing that comes into your mind was, why did we do that? What kind of a mistake is that? We're throwing away a round instead of just playing to your advantages. But G2, you're going to look to answer back, not for the first time now, but you have to give all the credit in the world for Liquid. The way that they showed composure in that round, John, was absolutely amazing. Insane.
God, these arena matches and rounds have been so hyped. I mean, I thought that was a G2 round for sure. I thought that was a momentum shift. G2 goes up 2-0. They're one round away from closing out game 3 and going up in the series, and now a completely different ball game. And here we go. This is the Fun House. Called it earlier in our last cast. Fun loves to play in this bottom mid side. Dezignful says, no, this is the El Casa de Dezignful, as he's going to take control of mid-map. Dezignful right now gets some good wingman shots to start. Can that be enough to draw first blood and break ice? No, he's going to back out and reset.
A lot of focus is going to be around this central structure. You can see the zone at the top left-hand side of your screen where people are going to be forced to move. And at the moment, Dezignful doing a lot of work with that wingman. He hits a 45 and he's going to get the crack now, which is, if you're G2, whoop, the target to go forward, and that's exactly what they do. He'll take down flanker. That was all from the wingman of Dezignful, and now the 2v3 once again for G2, but they're going to be mindful here, John. They had this situation just a few moments ago, and they let it slip through their fingers, but now Nocturnal left as a solo player.
Yeah, Nocturnal last alive. That play from Dezignful, gosh, the Pathfinder plays are back on controller especially. It's fun to watch. Swinging around like Tarzan is Dezignful. Connects for the one shot, one tap, finishing flanker, and out. Nocturnal last alive, 3-1. G2's playing the smart, all healing back up. Been playing very, very slow. They don't want to lose another advantage, but Dezignful's going to get knocked off the rip. Nocturnal, all right, what you got here? We saw a 2v3 from Liquid. Can we see our first 1v3 clutch of the tournament? I would lose my mind.
If he does this, the rest of what is left of the hair on my head will fall out. And once again, Nocturnal knocks Dezignful. And to be honest with you, if you're GT, you're going to get fed up and picking him up. Here's another player flying at him right now. Mozambique in hand, but it's not going to be enough. And finally, G2 managed to clutch up and get that final kill. But I mean, what an effort from Team Liquid to try and elongate that round to put some of that doubt back into the mind of G2. But when all's said and done here, G2 get the round on the board.
That's right. This could easily be a 3-0. Obviously, shoulda, woulda, couldas, and hopefully G2's not thinking about that right now. They just got to close this one out. But so far, G2's defending their home turf so well. They've been playing Thermal Station great. All three of these rounds could have and potentially should have been won by G2. Nice shot from Team Liquid, though, to hang on. That clutch from Flanker and Fun. We got to see Team Liquid do something a little bit different here. In your eyes, Onset, what is it?
It's tough to say. I think at the moment G2 are just deciding as soon as they get damaged they want to push, they want to be aggressive, and for Liquid it sounds really stupid and simple to say, but you just can't be the first player to get picked. Yeah. It really is coming down to that in these arenas matches. If you're the first player slightly out of position to get picked, then you know you leave his teammates in a 2v3 situation with the talent that is on board, and with these lineups it usually ends up in a win, but it's easier said than done. Like I say, sometimes you might think you've got an opportunity to pick up that first kill, and you overextend and all of a sudden you're the first kill, and it looks like it's happening again here for Liquid. Nocturnal will go down first and G2 have the 3v2 advantage.
And as you say that, Nocturnal gets knocked early again, finds himself in a pretty bad spot, you know, and again, this has been kind of a theme. Nocturnal on Octane, I keep talking about Nocturnal Unleashed, it's been fun to watch, but sometimes put himself in some disadvantageous spots, and now all of the Flanker and Fun. Again, gets some good shots to start, but this time G2 says, no, not going to happen here. Fun left in a 1v2. He's going to get taken out. G2 is going to win game 3. They go up 2-1 in the series. A dominant Thermal Station from G2 Esports as they take their first lead of the semifinals.
Yeah, Thermal Station is officially home for G2. They know it so well. They know every single little pixel that goes into Thermal Station, and they take home that win. But the crazy thing for me is, let's take a few seconds back, John. Let's take a few steps back. Just a few moments ago, this could have been 2-0 to Team Liquid in the series, and all of a sudden, G2 have just roared back now after those last-minute clutches. I talk about how they're a momentum team. They can get emotional, and it works for them in the good moments. They won those 2 clutch rounds at the end of Party Crasher, and now, all of a sudden, they find themselves looking really strong in the series.
Yeah, that's right, and that's obviously tragic if you're a Liquid fan and so close to being up 2-0 in that game 2. G2 responds so well in those clutch moments, backs against the wall. They were on game point against them 2 times on Party Crasher, and instead they clutch up and they move on to Thermal Station, do the same thing. What worked so well for G2 here was the fact that they played with the utmost confidence. I mean, look at this, Dezignful. Any opportunity he had was flying at any kill. And then you saw in that last round against Nocturnal. Nocturnal was caught out by himself. All 3 members, this is where it was. All 3 members fly at Noc, push with aggression, and take out that last member. Great job across the board from G2, finding their advantages and then pouncing as a team.
Yeah, doing a really good job there, G2, like you say, of pouncing once they had the advantage. And now we're moving on to FaZe Runner. And this, for me, is the real opportunity for Liquid to tie up the series. I feel like if it goes to Gardens, you got to think that G2 are going to take this home with the close quarters battles. But FaZe Runner, we've seen how it can be played. You can see you can play with a lot of distance. And I'm looking at Fun. I think the Longbow might come into play. I think the Sentinel might come into play here in the hands of Fun. And I'm excited to see if he starts hitting some shots, how G2 respond to that.
Yeah, you and I both. I'm sorry, I missed it. Is Gardens game 4 or is FaZe Runner game 4?
Phase Runner game 4, Gardens game 5.
Okay, good to know. So on Phase Runner, both teams are undefeated. Team Liquid only 1-0. And G2 3-0 on Phase Runner. So it's hard to say which team has the clear advantage. A little more experience this tournament, at least for G2. But yeah, I think this is anyone's game. And I'm hoping for another game 5, another semifinal that makes it the distance. I think will be a blast to watch. Team Liquid fans, they need your energy right here, right now. They're in character select right now. They're going to be deciding their fate. Will they change things up, or will they continue with that Bangalore pick? Something tells me they're going to stick to their guns. But nonetheless, blow it up in the chat right now if you want Team Liquid to force a game 5, or if you want G2 to close it out, let us know as well. Who's going to take it? Game 4 is ready, as we're going to be launching into Phase Runner here in a moment.
Phase Runner we head to as we speak, and we get into what could be the deciding game here for G2 as they close this one out here on Phase Runner. They'll close out the series and they will be in our grand finals, and what a performance it would be from them. G2 were my pick coming into this tournament as favorites. They've got a lot of arena experience under their belt. They've played it a lot, and for Liquid, it's been a really impressive performance as well. Fun has been a standout for me. I mean, Flanker and Nocturnal both been absolutely incredible as well, but it's great to see this new lineup coming together and really showing what they can do. But for now, John, it's now or never for Liquid. G2 with the opportunity to close things out.
Yep, that's true. Here we go. Game 4. And I got to agree with you. The debut of this Team Liquid roster, the departure of Alberlelli, the pickup of Fun changes things completely, changes the dynamic, the DNA of this team. You're going to have Nocturnal playing a flex role now. And obviously, you see him playing Octane right now. He's no longer going to be playing that support Gibraltar role, I don't think. So I think that's certainly going to open things up for Team Liquid in the future. But for now, it's all arenas, baby. And look at the aggression off the start from G2. They're going to use this smoke screen, use their dome shield to the advantage, get the early heals. And now if I'm G2, I want to back out and reset. I want to turn this into a game of poke.
Yeah, it looks like they're being able to do that as well. So they've managed to get the meds and they've managed to get map positioning as well. You can see that we might have a little bit of a pull away from the area that we're at right now as that circle does start to close. But usually with a lack of meds on board here, it's going to be up to Team Liquid to do some damage and try and push off the back of that. G2 playing the head glitches though and trying not to allow Liquid to get any kind of advantage to allow them to push, because it's kind of a one and done push early on. I feel like if you don't get those meds, Liquid are the team who are in that position now, and Flanker taking a lot of damage here is going to force Liquid just to slow down for a moment.
Yeah, and Nocturnal keeps Flanker alive and keeps Liquid in this round. I don't know if anyone saw that, but Flanker was this close to getting pushed by all 3 members, but the wingman shots from Nocturnal was the defense needed to keep Team Liquid at least given a chance to win this round. But again, all advantage in G2 because they have so many meds in their hands. Right now, it's anyone's round, slight advantage in terms of G2, but at this point, I think both teams need to be super cautious not to get picked. G2 is looking for that opportunity to pounce.
Yeah, Nocturnal's going to be the player to watch here. He's trying to be very, very sneaky. There's like a snake with slippers on right now as he's going through the long grass, and he might be able to make a play here. If he can get one of these players lined up with that R9 in his hand and manage to get that knock, you will see the rest of Team Liquid fly across the map to support him and turn that advantage that he's created into a round win. But this is all on the shoulders of Nocturnal here. The pressure is on him to do something crazy. And at the same time, G2 need to have their heads on a swivel here, John. If they don't spy out Nocturnal, this could be really bad news for them.
Yep, Nocturnal, the slow play here. Waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. And here it comes, the flank. He's going to connect for great damage, but is it enough? The long range down is going to come through. Great finish from Fun. Great teamwork from Liquid as they had no shields, nothing to their name, but a flank from Nocturnal gives them a chance as Flanker is going to get brought down to half health.
I said it was a one and done for Liquid. They've done so well to get into this position. Gentrifyinq will be taken down, so the pressure now on Dezignful. There's shields in front of him though, and that's not good when you've got none yourselves. And Team Liquid, what a play that was to take home our first round there in our fourth map, I should say. Excuse me, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but I mean, the patience on display from Liquid, absolutely amazing.
Hashtag Nocturnal Unleashed, baby. What a play, what a round. And even though they lost that game 2, that pivotal game 2 on Party Crasher where Nocturnal was feeling himself and playing aggressive, I still love the fact that he's making these plays. He's playing completely nerve-free right now. Ultimate confidence from Nocturnal, and I want to see him continue that. It's been fun to watch.
And the thing now for G2 is they're going to be thinking, where's Nocturnal? If it becomes a standoff, they're going to become a little bit paranoid about what's going on around them. If they've got their angles behind them covered, if everybody is watching something, because the conversation that happens for G2 after that round is, who was watching? Who was watching that? Why didn't we see him instead of, what we should be doing and focusing on going into that next round? So it's a psychological edge as well as a round edge picked up there by Team Liquid.
Yeah, look at the positioning from Dezignful right now. He's going to take this high ground. Great job by Observer team to catch it. Nade's going to drop. Fun is in a bad spot. Oh, the nade's going to miss, but it's going to be enough damage being put through. Fun has 1 HP, not knocked just yet. He's going to get beamed by Fun. Dezignful and Gentrifyinq both down to a sliver of health. They'll be able to heal back up. I think this is going to be a reset.
I mean, Fun, the audacity. I say audacity. He had no other option but to fire back there and force Dezignful to back up himself and burn some meds. So great job from Fun to work that head glitch and make sure he was as difficult a kill as physically possible. And now Liquid, you can see, trying to make a move up onto G2. Nocturnal going to be the first line of attack for them, but he's going to have to back down now as he realized he didn't have the support he was looking for.
That's right. Nocturnal continuing to look to be a playmaker. I like that he's looking for these opportunities and taking them when he has them, much like last round. But now we're back to a 3v3. I don't know if Noc has any more shield cells. Gentrifyinq might be low as well. Both teams are damaged and low on resources. This has been an even round for the ages. One of the most competitive arenas rounds I have watched so far, which is just indicative of how great of a match this has been, which is indicative of how great of a tournament as this has been. UMG making their entrance with the first official Pro Arenas tournament. This has been so much fun to watch.
At the moment, it looks like zone control, if you want to call it that, is in the hands of Team Liquid, where they're set up at the moment. Nocturnal's going to be having his shields broken. No, not only that, almost had his spirit broken as well, as he just about managed to find a way to get away from what looked like a really awkward situation. Now Dezignful's going to be hitting some shots, and even though G2 looked like they didn't have the best of positions now, the damage that they are doing is breaking the economy here of Team Liquid, and Dezignful is going to send it over the top, and that means the rest of G2, they're going to be following as well.
Oh, but he gets taken out by Nocturnal, so now it's a 3v2, but G2 has all the heal advantage, so this should be a G2 round. They're going to get one knock. That's 1. 2 versus 2 fight, make that 2. Nocturnal last alive, 1 versus 1. It's going to be Gentrifyinq with the health advantage. He'll be able to close it out. The melee comes through, and G2 wins it in round number 2.
That was scary for a moment there. I think both players lost each other for just a second towards the end of that round, but G2, I mean, the amount of damage they were doing was absolutely superb. I didn't mind the grapple either over the top. It's always going to cause a distraction. Dezignful taking it upon himself to take to the skies after the damage is being done, and even though he didn't get any damage himself, it just created the opportunity for the rest of his teammates to push. They knew that Liquid had no shields to work with. It was going to be easy pickings for them. Gentrifyinq had the shield advantage. One wingman shot was enough to really make things interesting. Melee to close things out, and that was the job done.
Exactly. And that's why as a viewer and as a player, you can't just say, oh, it's a 3v2, Liquid's gonna win this round, because again, the health advantage, you talked about it earlier, which we had a statistic to show us the overall heals for each team. Health advantage was significantly in favor of G2 right there. So despite the 2v3 and despite the fact that Dezignful didn't get damage in, he had all the distraction, which opened his team up for the opportunity to finish that. We're tied at 1 apiece here going into round 3.
Dezignful's going to steal the meds, and he's going to be met around the corner by some shots coming in from a flatline. I'm pretty sure that was, and it looks like it was indeed. Nocturnal with the flatline in his hand, and he's going to try and get aggressive here, but no, he's going to be absolutely decimated. In the words of the Controller Kings themselves, as G2 Esports take the advantage here, Nocturnal just eliminated, deleted, whatever you want to throw an objective at it. He is out of this one, and now you're going to see Liquid in a 2v3.
Yeah, Fun, low HP right now. Flanker and Fun got to do it again. Can they, is the question. They're quite literally stuck backs against the wall. Flanker with at least 1 good shot, and they're going to connect for good damage. It's not going to be enough, though. Fun last alive, and I think that should be it. G2 will go up 2-1. They are on match point, ladies and gentlemen. A 3-map potential sweep for G2 Esports after stealing map 2 on Party Crasher, and now G2 is just 1 round away from securing a spot in the finals.
And for Team Liquid, can you do what G2 did to you? That's the question now. Can you find that bit of resolve that you need? Can you find the little bit of magic that you need? And I mean, the only time that we've seen Team Liquid really worry G2 with the round that they took was when we saw the little bit of magic from Nocturnal, I believe it was, who went on that long flank. And apart from that, G2 have just been dominating them, especially on this construction portal side of the map. So what we see on the phase runner side that we see in front of us right now. So Liquid did win a round on this side before, so maybe that's a good omen for them, the fact that the zone is pulling slightly towards this way. But I mean, G2, momentum heavily in this on their side now, John, and you just feel like they're going to close this one out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and the one round that Liquid did win took a hero play and flank from Nocturnal. So we'll see what they can do here. And again, they're going to let G2 basically for free get all the heals. So advantage in favor of G2, but keep in mind, it is round 4, so at this point, you have the econ to buy a lot of heals, so Liquid's not stressing too much. And they're going to distribute some of those heals right now. As Gentrifyinq, oh, he is hurt. If I'm Liquid, I'm maybe considering pushing off this with nades, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Here comes the push. Gentrifying's going to hit that bat, back up to full shields, but still only half health. Dezignful's going to get flanked and tagged up. He's knocked. Team Liquid playing this perfect.
2v3 then. G2 at a disadvantage. However, they turn it their way, and now it's up to Flanker and Fun to try and turn a 2v2 into a round win now. The other side of the bubble, the backside of the bubble being played. Nice shots with the Eva Ray. Even better ones on the player inside of the bubble. And oh my word, Liquid stay alive somehow or other here when things were not looking good. Liquid hold match point. They do not let G2 go through to the finals. There's work to be done yet for G2 if they want to progress.
Let's go. Team Liquid keeping things alive with a sick round. I love that play. As G2 is caught with their pants down, collecting materials and distributing materials, they do a good job finding the one isolated player and take advantage. And then, of course, these 8 shots from Flanker didn't miss a bullet or a pellet in the spread. And Team Liquid ties it up 2-2 here. We're going to at least a round 5 and at least a round 6.
There's one thing that I absolutely love watching at the very, very top level of any FPS is the ability to transfer from one target to another, recognizing how you might have the opportunity to close out a kill without having to, do too much. It's prioritizing the kill, and you saw a great example of it there in those final moments. One player in front of him, focused, managed to break the shields, then immediately just switched targets to the player running at him, knowing it would only take one burst of Eva 8 to finish it off, and then turning the attention back. It was wonderful stuff coming out of Team Liquid, and now it's tied up at 2-2.
And they're going to good use of nades right there, but I'm not sure if those nades are worth unless your team is going to push and capitalize based on the nades. And I would have loved to seen a wide left push and flank from Team Liquid here, much like they're doing right now. Great damage from Nocturnal. I love what Nocturnal's doing to control this round single-handedly, putting in the damage, but needs to be careful, needs to let his teammates do the rest. And I love how Nocturnal's playing this.
I mean, he's going to be pushed, though. This is the only issue for him, but being pushed is one thing, and dealing damage is another, as he's not going to go. Oh, my word. I thought he had that one in the bag. However, G2 and Resultuh, they're in a 1v2 situation now. Flanker trying to push up onto him to get this final kill. Liquid, who was staring down the barrel of death a few moments ago. Well, I said, can they do to G2 what they did to them? And the answer is yes so far. Team Liquid now find themselves on map point and a chance to tie the series at 2-2.
You've got to be kidding me. UMG champions, Arena's Apex community in the chat, stand up for what has been a sick matchup between G2 and Team Liquid. TL, their backs against the wall. They win 2 straight. They are now on game point, but we know how good G2 is in these exact scenarios. Needing to clutch up, backs against the wall. G2 plays so well, and guess what? They're going to get the side of the map that they've won every single round on.
Liquid are going to be so hyped, though. Liquid are going to be absolutely buzzing right now. They said they were playing for fun. I'd forget about that right now. In this situation, everyone is going absolutely balls to the wall to try and win this one and really close things out. And Liquid have the opportunity to do so. A reminder, just a few rounds ago, G2 just needed one round to close this out, to give themselves the series victory. Liquid claw their way back into things, and now Liquid in the ascendancy as far as momentum is concerned. But no! I mean, it's going to be a 2v3 now in the favor of G2. That is a hell of a grenade coming in from Resultuh.
I think he's going to stick the revive. He's going to get the revive. G2 needs to push this. This is a perfect opportunity for G2 to close out. Look, full health, full shields for everyone. Good night and goodbye for Team Liquid. This is a G2 round unless they completely throw. Here comes the push. Dezignful cleaning up. And just like that, G2 in the matter of seconds. That was a less than a minute round. G2 wins that based off of the play made on Fun. Great work right there by Dezignful and G2 to focus, to nade, and to take out Fun. Huge misplay from Fun, though.
I don't know about you, John, but I just got the feeling this game's got round 9 written all over it. It just really does. It's back and forth. It's a seesaw. It's a teeter-totter. Whatever you want to call it, that is what it is. And for G2, a fantastic round. Again, getting that first knock, so vital, especially when it's early in a round and you have the opportunity to close that gap as the revive is coming in, and there's only one player trying to hold off a team of 3. So for G2, massive for them, and now we're all tied up once more. This is crazy. This is actually crazy.
And it's going to be the Crane side of the map again. Again, the side that favors G2. Team Liquid might want to consider slowing this down, being obviously ultra cautious. Fun has to, of course, not put himself in that same position. I'd love to see some type of trick strat come out from Team Liquid, but it looks like they're not going to do that. They are going to slow it down instead. Fun again gets knocked. G2 is just having their way and capitalizing. Some defensive nades going to come through from Nocturnal. Will they get the revive and stick? Yes, they will. Nocturnal has to carry the entire team right now.
Can we talk about the focus fire coming in at the moment? And can we talk about the aggression coming in from G2 and the beams coming in from Gentrifyinq, because they hit hard. Nocturnal has just been knocked into next week as Gentrifyinq now pops that Barry. G2 aggressive, foot on the pulse, and they're looking to close this one out. And now Flanker is trying to close things out as well for Liquid.
Yeah, not done yet. Flankers manages to get one. Fun has all of G2 down to 1 HP. He needs to play fast. He needs to play aggressive. He knocks one. That's actually Gentrifyinq knocks one. But Fun's going to let them heal. I can't believe it. Fun had an opportunity to push 2 players of G2 with 10 HP. He obviously didn't get the intel that we had. But G2 is going to heal back up to full health. And that's going to be it for Fun. He gets taken out, and G2 wins 2 in a row.
And now Team Liquid, having just been a fingernail away from managing to take the map, G2 find themselves in that position. Team Liquid with the heroics. G2 roar back to put themselves onto map point. And not only that, Liquid now find themselves staring down the barrel of defeat. G2, map point, series point, a place in the grand finals underway here. John, I just feel like there's another twist in this one.
Yeah, round 9 around the corner. But Team Liquid needs to win a round. And guess what? They're going to get the FaZe portal side of the map. This is the side they've won 3 rounds on. They are undefeated. Can they make it a 4th to force a fateful round 9? What seems like it right here. G2, will they play for the center crate again for the heals?
Great pre-nades there, forcing G2 to make some moves. However, the 301 shots are going to be pretty true coming in from Gentrifyinq, as they always are. And now you're going to see things just slow down a little bit. You can see the heals have been picked up, and Nocturnal may be that player to watch again. But look at the adjustments here from G2. They're watching that lower side. The problem is, by doing that, look at Flanker's position now to the right of Nocturnal, trying to move across that right bridge to get another angle. Nocturnal really is the key here to success here for Liquid.
Yeah, and I gotta say, for G2, it's Dezignful. Nice shot by Dezignful, not letting Flanker push up and holding his ground, because if you lose positioning on the wide left there, you pretty much lose complete control of your platform. If you lose your plat, well, you lose the round, because then you're on low ground and that's a GG. So great job from Dezignful right here, holding down the fort with some defense.
At the moment, it's poke damage for both, but I tell you what, a Prowler is going to be absolutely massive, not just because of the fact that it's in Team Liquid's hands and does a lot of damage, that also, get a Prowler in your hands keeps it out of the hands of G2, and if they had any choice of up close and personal weapon G2, I'm pretty sure Prowler would be at the top of that list.
That's right, Dezignful. No shield. G2 could have capitalized on Nocturnal with nades. I don't know if they have any nades left. Dezignful again, no shields again, but they have all the heals in the world because they got the pill earlier. Flanker down to no shields. Nocturnal slow playing this, keeping quiet, wide flank with the Prowler. Gotta of course be quiet here, because guess what? It's Nocturnal season. He's gonna almost knock one. He gets at least 90 damage in, and the teammates can follow through and knock Gentrifyinq, but no, he will heal back up, so that's not the damage Nocturnal would have wanted there. But look at how much of a nuisance he is right now on G2.
Fun is going to have to pop some shields as well. So even though Nocturnal is doing all of this damage here to G2, they're not going to be able to capitalize on it because they don't have the shields to close that space. G2 now making a rotation away from where they were towards this central rock structure. They were not in a nice place, but now they've managed to get stable. They've managed to get those meds off and find themselves in a better position. So for all of the good work there that Team Liquid did, G2 have rotated away from it, and they've made themselves safe.
That's true, but look at the zone. The zone favors Liquid completely and low ground, but G2 is gonna beam Fun. He gets knocked again, and now an opportunity. Dezignful's gonna get full redded. He gets taken out. Gentrifyinq is gonna push up and take out Nocturnal. It all comes down to Flanker in a 1v2. Has to clutch up. No, he's gonna get shut down, and G2 Esports is your champion. A little bit of disrespect here as they make their way to the grand finals. Congratulations to G2.
Amazing stuff from G2 at the end there. The beams of the 301 will be singing long into the night, but I just want to give a quick mention and a quick shout out to all of the members of Team Liquid as well, John, because that was a ridiculous series. That was Apex Legends Arena at its best, I think, that we've seen so far. So commiserations to Team Liquid. I'm sure they had a lot of fun playing, but G2, my word, unbelievable stuff.
I was on the edge of my seat. I mean, the entire time. I don't know what it is about semifinals, but they've been incredible, both on the top side of the bracket, the bottom side. But for grand finals now to be ghosted G2, it's going to be incredible. But Onset, I agree with you. Team Liquid, Team Liquid really the only team pushing the meta too. Let's consider that, rocking the bang. So I respect what they were doing. You love to see it, but ultimately that record from G2 came to fruition. We knew going into it, I believe G2 was 3-0 on this map, and then for the boys of Team Liquid, they were 1-0. So both undefeated, but G2 clearly had a little bit more practice on Phase Runner, and they just understood what they needed to do. But let's go back to let's go back a couple of rounds, Fallout. Let's talk about Fun and that one moment, last alive. He should have made that push, and I agree with you. He should have, but like you said, we have the information, he doesn't.
Yeah, that's spot on. And unfortunately, Fun got taken out 3 times, and it's easy to blame Fun for that. But at the same time, that's what G2 is so good at: focus firing, team firing, finding the one person, and 3, 2, 1, go. All 3 players melting that individual. It's the G2 special, and this is it right here. Focusing so incredibly well. This round, Fun got out. The other rounds, he unfortunately did not have that fortune.
And you have to also give credit to Nocturnal, even though Team Liquid takes the L. Love Nocturnal once again, keeping it consistent, much like he did on Overflow when he was going on the flanks. This time around, going on the flanks, a long flank, like a bold one too. Onset, he was in the wide open, but he committed to it, and it was a devastating effect. And even though Team Liquid doesn't move on to grand finals, Nocturnal might have opened up a potential play style that could develop even more so in Arena.
Oh, 100%. Flanking and FPSs in sort of 3v3s is always going to be something that becomes unpredictable. And the more unpredictable you can get it, the more effective that a flank will be. And these shots, by the way, were absolutely amazing. And to be honest with you, the shots of all players throughout this series were just amazing to watch. As you say that, this is probably the messiest fight that we saw in the entirety of it. It was almost as if that was scripted for a second. But, I mean, what a series, right? What a series. Yeah. Back and forth, both teams with chances to win the maps. And it was just a pleasure to watch, a pleasure to be part of. Congratulations to both teams.
Absolutely, and credit to Dezignful, seeing him there get the cleanups towards the very end. Obviously, Gentrifyinq in this last round, lasering, just absolutely beaming the players on Team Liquid. But Fallout Dezignful, specifically even just a map before on Thermal Station, opening up the door for G2 to get big wins from his early picks.
No, that's exactly right. Dezignful obviously was kind of the tip of the spear, but again, it was all 3 members of G2, their team firing, that made the difference. You see Dezignful was the one who got the knock, but yet you better believe all 3 members of G2 were focus firing on Fun right there. And when you have 3 lasers on you at once, good luck surviving that. No player in the game would be able to. Great job right there from G2. They were the better team.